Carl, obviously a huge win for the club. How's the morale amongst the group after a massive win?
Yeah, look, it's very good, and it has been good all season. Look, it's important that we, keep our focus on what we want to achieve at the end of the season. So we're just coming up to the halfway mark now. So there's still a lot of work to go, but we're very happy with how we've performed to this point.
Now you are top of the table. How do you avoid any overconfidence going into obviously what's a 1v2 clash?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a big game. Again, similar to Saturday, it's going to be a very intense game, a lot of pressure in the game. So look, it's something that we've been working on. They're a very good side defensively, well organised. So look, it's going to be a big battle, and it's going to need every player to stand up.
What does the tight turnaround look like in terms of the training week that you've had the last couple of days? Yeah,
look, mostly recovery. We had a couple of boys that were quite sore from the victory game, so they've had extra recovery. As you say, it's a short turnaround, so we haven't had much time to train. It's more just about making sure we get the boys as fresh as we can to go into the game for tomorrow night.
Would you expect much of a change to that starting 11?
Yeah, there'll be a couple of changes. Look, I think it's important, especially against a side that works as hard as Auckland, that we're nice and fresh. So we've tried to freshen up all the players from the game against Victory. So depending on how they pull up after today's session as well, we'll reassess. But I expect there to be some changes.
Ryan Kiddo didn't train today, I assume personal reasons. Again, is he going to play tomorrow, do you think?
Yeah, look, the same. He put up a little bit sore after the game as well. There's 3 or 4 of them, so he's had extra recovery. Yes, he's also has a few other things on his plate at the moment as well. So look, we'll reassess it, with all the playing group tomorrow and make that final decision.
What about your goalkeeping situation? Ethan obviously came in on the weekend. Deli was on the bench. Has Ethan shown that he can be number 1 long term?
Yeah, most definitely long term. He wouldn't be here if we didn't think he had that potential. He did very well on Saturday night. Made some really important saves when he needed to. So look, Deli still was touch and go for the Saturday game. So look, again, we've been very light with his training sessions this week to hopefully get him ready for tomorrow night.
We touch on rotation for you guys. Obviously, Auckland coming over from New Zealand. It's going to be a lot of travel. You coped with that the last couple of weeks. How are you hoping to sort of capitalise on that fatigue? Yeah, look,
it's important that we start the game and play a high tempo. As you said, it's a long trip from Auckland to here, and they had the short turnaround, the same as us. So it's important, for us to make sure that the pressure is right and that we play the game with good tempo.
Okay, so here on the weekend, and then imagine another strong crowd tomorrow. How much of a lift does this team get from the fans?
Yeah, it's a huge lift. It's one of the best stadiums in the country for football. And when our supporters come out in force and support us, you can see the lift in the intensity that we play with as well, with that support behind us. And when we saw that Saturday night, and it would be fantastic again tomorrow night to get a lot of supporters here tomorrow night.
When you get to where you are at the moment, top of the ladder, do you reflect how far this group's come over the past 12 months, longer than that, over a short period of time? Yeah, look,
no, I wouldn't say it's a short period of time. We've, a lot of the younger boys that are playing, they've been with the club for a long time, and we're starting to see the benefits of that, of giving them that time to settle and play in this league. And we brought in some good recruits at that right age bracket that help push along the side. So at the moment we've got a great energy in the team, and it's important that we keep that energy and keep pushing forward.
In previous years, you've lost a lot of young players in January. Do you expect to keep the squad together this time around?
Yeah, I believe so. Look, we're always have one eye open to see if we can bring reinforcements that can strengthen the team. And you never know. With the young players, if offers come on the table that are good offers for the club, that's what it's part of our mantra is to build these young players up to move them on to big clubs overseas. So if that opportunity comes for them, we'll definitely look at it.
Is it a little bit easier though? Obviously, like you say, the club has been open with players going overseas, but it's a little bit easier to try and keep players when you are top of the league, you have the carrot of winning a league title, and then maybe can go at the end of the season.
Yeah, most definitely. We make no secret about we're prepared to play young players. We're prepared to build them up to make that next step in their careers. And it's important, yes, we still want to win. And, we've driven that very hard, especially this season. So look, there's no different, and all the players here are fully into that, and they, want to achieve something at this club.
We've got Dutchman Dunn Klomp, I think I'm pronouncing that right, on trial at the moment with the club. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, look, he's a strong central defender. So look, we, as I said, we're always looking. Young Panna will miss a lot of games coming up, being away with the national team. So look, it's something that we need to make sure we've got players in place if needed.
Do you expect that to be a move that does eventuate? Obviously, when you bring a player from overseas, it's a bit more.
No, look, it's something, with Ernest's connections. He's got good connections overseas. So we just brought him in to have a good look, and for him to have a look at this environment as well, because it is very different. So look, we'll give him a little bit of time and to settle in, and we'll have a good look at him and see if it's a right fit for the club.
How much can a result, and not just a result, but like Brady mentioned, the crowd, and also spoke about after the game having 8 or 9 South Aussies on the pitch at the end of it. How can that sort of turbocharge your season, but also football as a whole in that?
Yeah, look, I think unfortunately, we don't get. South Australia doesn't get the credit that it deserves for the players that it produces, and it has always been that way. And I think the last 4 or 5 years we've really put an emphasis on developing our own players and moving them on, because we've seen in the past where we've used to have quite a few players in the Socceroos teams and then we had a gap where we weren't getting them in. So it's important that we get players that are good enough to play at that level. And now when you look at the Socceroos, we get a lot of South Australian players in there. And it's a great sign, for the young kids that are playing at the local clubs, that they can see the stars playing for Adelaide United before they go on and play at some big clubs and play for the Socceroos.
You take a sense of pride. There's a lot of teams around the league at the moment playing young players, and there have been some coaches that have used that as an excuse at times this year that don't expect too much for playing young players. Do you take that as a sense of pride that this is something that has been part of the club the last few years in your tenure? Yeah,
look, it's always difficult at times. Your form can go up and down with the younger players, but it's important that you give them those opportunities. And we've gone close a few times over the last 4 or 5 years, and just haven't quite got there. And hopefully this year we can make that next step.
It must give you a great sense of pride, though, that these guys are coming through now, and you do sit top of the table.
Yeah, most definitely. As I said the other night, it's not just the club, it's everyone in South Australia should take great pride in that, because a lot of people in the local football world, do a lot of work with these young kids when they first start. So it's important that we recognise that and support as much of the South Australian football public as we can.